Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video of the 12th episode of Season 1 of Babylon 5 called By Any Means Necessary. Last time we saw the President of Earth visit the station to deliver some much needed new Star Furies. Before he arrived there was an explosion on the station and Garibaldi was blamed and accused of planting a bomb. He went on the run and we discovered that he was an alcoholic and had not had a drink for many years. We saw his decline throughout the episode and he turned back to the bottle. We then discover that he was framed and it was actually the Home Guard, the isolationist group that want Earth for humans, that set him up. So let's see what happens in the next episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here. And at the end of the reaction I will be discussing what happened and my thoughts about the episode. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1.
Earth Force ship continue to hold. Minbari ship hold.
Seem busy?
Talquith, you may proceed immediately to docking bay 8 via beacon Alpha 6.
About time.
Thank you very much.
Platform 6 activated. Departure sequence engaged.
Oh. So something's leaving and something's coming in. Just both of you come to a complete stop.
Transport, do not start your engines.
Well, that's not going to help. That kind of accident right at the main... I never quite understood the layout of the station, but sort of like a main entrance, main docking bay entrance for the ships. I mean, that kind of accident, they're going to have to spend ages checking for damage, making repairs, clearing the debris. I mean, that's going to really... They were already obviously under it. That's going to really mess things up.
The entire cargo bay was blown out. I'm afraid the Jaguan Eth was destroyed in the accident.
No. No. Oh no.
Oh dear. They said he had a essential delivery for Ambassador Shakar.
The accident was caused by equipment failure. Cluster defective microchips blew out.
And I've done everything I can to make the Senate understand we need an increase in the station's budget. Sinclair.
Commander, Senator Hidoshi is on Gold Channel for you. It's about the new budget.
I suspect it's not going to be good news.
According to import records, there is one being on the station who has the phone.
Well, who is it?
Ambassador Valari.
What?
So Jakar needs something for a ceremony. He can't get another one in time because the other one was lost. The original one was lost in the accident, and the only other person who's got one is Londo. That's going to end well.
But our experts have assured us that your new budget is more than sufficient for safe and efficient running of Babylon 5.
The experts who aren't on the station.
Dock workers got zip. No pay raise, no money for new workers, no funds for upgrading equipment.
As far as the Senate's concerned, they're bound by a government contract. They can't quit and they can't go on strike. Why give them anything?
We're up to eyeballs in waiting transport, and the dock workers are calling in sick. Well, as far as we can determine, none of them are actually ill. They're just calling in sick.
A strike.
In other words, we have an illegal strike on our hands.
We need a 10-hour turnaround after we work a double shift.
Yeah.
I say strike.
Now let's remember, let's try to keep a cool head during management negotiations.
I'm not sure I'd be happy going walking in there.
It's all right, Eduardo. Let him through.
Like, stop him. He's the head of security. He's command staff.
The hell with your talk. You got people dying out here, Mr. Security Man. Yeah! And Sinclair wants us to talk.
Well, you've got to negotiate. You're not going to get everything you want immediately.
You get us decent pay and equipment and hire enough workers to do the job safely. Then we return to work.
That's a lot of money. And from the sounds of it, it was all signed contracts and it's all been agreed beforehand. He broke in to look
You left
for
your
it.
door unlocked, Ambassador.
Yeah, I bet.
Careless of you. I thought it best to sit here and guard your room until you return.
But he didn't find it.
And did you find anything of
No.
interest in my humble quarters while you were guarding it?
No.
The Jaquan Eth plant, so very important to you at this festive time.
Is it a religious plant or for a ceremony?
50,000 commercial credits in cash in advance.
That's an outrage!
Of course it's an outrage. The question is, how important is your religious ceremony to you?
He holds all the cards.
The Labor Committee has ordered Oren Zento to Babylon 5. He will be there within 12 hours. He is our best labor negotiator. He has stopped this kind of thing before on many of our stations.
Don't know if that's good or bad for him.
He decides the Rush Act is necessary.
You're not serious. We have over 1,000 dock workers on this station. If we start arresting them, we could have a riot on our hands.
In an enclosed space station, easy for him to make all these suggestions and orders from Earth. He hasn't got to deal with the reaction.
I hope in spite of that we'll be able to expedite negotiations. I'm on a tight schedule. When can I meet with this convict?
It's being arranged.
I'll need to talk to your security chief. If I have to invoke the Rush Act, it's best to be ready.
So, I'm assuming the Rush Act is basically if you have illegal workers striking illegally, you can enact this act, and security can go in, arrest people, basically force them back to work. But obviously that's a huge morale wrecker. Public opinion's not going to be great because it would all come out that the reason they're striking is because of conditions, and the military have basically forced them back to work. So yeah, it'd be a nightmare. And say that's bad enough at the best of times, but on an enclosed space station, 1,000 people, you know, are rioting and all sorts. I mean, it would be. Plus, they need the ships coming in and out. That's the lifeblood of the station. I mean, it's how they make money, I would assume. So it's going to make things even worse budget-wise if they don't have the ships coming in and out.
Ambassador Molari, I have the money.
It's going to pay it.
50,000 credits in cash.
I have changed my mind.
Oh my God, he's got us
The
for more.
Jaquan Eth plant is not for sale. Consider this a very tiny portion of revenge for what you did to our colony on Ragesh 3 and to my nephew.
Wow. Pure revenge. Not going to say it to him for anything.
Earth sympathizes with your situation.
God, he comes across as being smarmy. A car salesman.
I first understand your feelings.
They work double and triple shifts using equipment that is substandard.
That's dangerous, working double and triple shifts. Especially.
You signed a contract, Miss Connolly, just like every other government worker on this
And
station.
there's the problem.
Abide by it, and we'll look into these problems.
We were promised an increase by last year's negotiator.
But I've seen no written agreement to that effect. Without that, my hands are tied.
Oh dear,
There are
that's not
simply
going
no
well.
funds available.
I've been working space docks for 40 years. And this equipment we got won't last 2 months, let alone 2 years.
That's just what you want, substandard parts on a space station.
Miss Connolly, perhaps we'll have better luck ironing this out at a private meeting tomorrow.
Not a good idea to have that kind of conversation with all those people when they're already riled up.
Cargo ships here. Please
Oh God, all the ships building up.
But if she persists in this illegal action, the Rush Act will be put into force, and your troops had better be ready to enforce it.
Troops. So he's not even calling them security anymore, they're just literally an army. Must be such a stressful job being in charge of the station. There's always an emergency and a problem.
As for you, Miss Connolly, I strongly recommend you send your people back to work now.
He's not a negotiator, he's just there to tell them to get back to work.
I'm invoking the Rush Act as of now.
You can't do that without Senate confirmation.
I'll have it within the hour. And I'll expect Mr. Garibaldi's people to be ready to arrest Ms. Connolly and any other worker who persists in this illegal activity.
big news item in tonight's program. Is it true that Mr. Zento has declared the doctor slowed down an illegal strike?
Why is she allowed in there? It would be a secure area. Why are they allowed in there? Nobody except command crew should be allowed in there. Surely there'd be security passes to get through the doors. They shouldn't allow people to walk through.
Orin Zento has created an uproar in the Senate.
He has a knack for that.
Commander, I believe you should be allowed to handle this situation as you think best.
Yeah, it's not great that he's in charge of the station and the running of it, and they send somebody else in to deal with it. Don't show confidence in him as a leader.
I need to see the full text of the Senate order.
Yes, sir.
So you're trying to find some sort of loophole.
It is now official. The Senate has invoked the Rush Act in their dispute with the Babylon 5 Dockers Guild. Replacement workers are already reporting to launch centers on Earth, and Babylon 5 security forces are expected to begin mass arrests.
So replacement workers are already been prepared, so they're going to basically scrap all of them and put in new workers. They made the first move as well. He punched first. I mean, I would have sealed off the area and got them to come out one by one. You don't go in all guns blazing into a crowd like that.
Under the Rush Act, the Senate has empowered me to end this strike. I'm authorized to use any means necessary, correct, Mr. Zento?
Yes, any means necessary.
Am I assured of your full support on this?
Absolutely.
He just put you into a corner, I think.
I am reallocating 1.3 million credits from Babylon 5's military budget to begin necessary upgrades of all dockside equipment and to start hiring additional workers. All right! That is dependent upon your people returning to work immediately.
Yeah, but they're now so behind, they're going to have to be working quadruple shifts to make up the time. I mean, how in control of the budget is he? Would he be allowed to reallocate military money to the dock workers?
Ambassador Malari, I ran a check on the Jaquan Eth and discovered it had a chemical composition which makes it a controlled botanical substance, illegal to possess except for legitimate medical or religious purposes.
All right, Commander. You may have the Jaquan Eth.
Why is he giving it up so easily?
It's already too late for the ceremony.
Oh, that's
Molari
why.
knows that. That's why he gave in so easily.
Yeah, it's too late.
This ritual is supposed to be performed in the sunlight that has touched the Jaquan Mountain on a particular day at a particular time. What you forgot to take into account is that sunlight also travels through space. Think about it. This station is 12.2 light years from Narn. That's just a little over 10 of your light years. The sunlight that touched Jaquan Mountain 10 of your years ago will reach this station in 12 hours.
That's quite a loophole.
You have one transmission holding.
Put it through. Senator Hidoshi,
he knew.
been expecting your call.
The Senate has decided to let your decision on the strike stand without comment. Today, you have made new enemies. You are not the most popular person in government circles right now.
So in the end, Jakar won, really, and Londo lost. We didn't actually see Londo realise that he lost, though. That could have been quite interesting to have seen. That was a good episode. Don't know how to put into words what I'm thinking, which isn't great to consider it's a reaction. It felt like... I really don't know how to put it into words. It felt a bit run-of-the-mill, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, it was a strike. It was there was an accident. It was a strike, and it was just dealing with the strike. if you put that situation in a show set now on Earth, it would be quite probably a dull episode. But so you transfer it to space, and it has, and the future, and it kind of has different levels to it. Because having a riot on a space station, that's a huge thing, and things going wrong with the equipment on a space station is a huge thing as well. So it was interesting to see, because you always see the command staff. It's not very often you see the background workings of the station, and think about what would happen if things go wrong. Here we saw it was an explosion, and it shut down the inner workings, and you see all the ships waiting outside. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So yeah, it was interesting from that perspective, seeing that sort of thing. I mean, that negotiator, because he wasn't there to negotiate, he was there just to force them back to work, basically. There was no real negotiation going on, and from what they said, they'd even had someone negotiate the previous year an increase, and nothing happened. So why on earth would they listen to him when nothing happened last time that was agreed? And the way that Sinclair got around it all by reallocating military budget, that seems very dodgy. I don't know. I mean, he obviously was allowed to get away with it, but I would be very surprised if in real life you'd be allowed to get away with that. I mean, they just had a load of new Star Furies in the previous episode. The military budget was increased, I would assume, for a reason. Yeah, 1.2 million. I think it was 1.2 million credits. I don't know obviously what the budget of the space station is. Obviously it sounds like a lot of money, but in the scheme of things that could be, well, probably is a drop in the pond. I mean, Londo asked for 50,000 credits for the flower, and Jakar was going to pay it. 50,000 credits, 1.2 million credits. I mean, and if the machinery and equipment was defective on the station, or let's focus on that one area, on the cargo area, is 1.2 million gonna make that much of a difference? Nothing was talked about their hours. It was only about the upgrades were talked about, and like I said, they're gonna have to work so hard now, so many extra shifts to catch up to get back to where they were. And from the sounds of it, things aren't improving time-wise, so they haven't really gained much. And plus, it's going to take time to fix the problems and upgrade things. And he said that things were probably going to start failing in 2 months' time. I thought it was going to take longer than 2 months to upgrade equipment like that. It takes time, as Jakar found trying to order that plant. He said it should have arrived months ago, but it didn't, just because things take time. So it feels like they've kind of not really resolved the problem, just pushed it down the line a bit. And the way that's, I mean, Sinclair is in charge of the station, and again I said this earlier as well, he was dealing with it, obviously not quick enough for the Senate, so they sent someone there to take over effectively the negotiations. That does not show confidence in him as a leader. And now he's just the senator said that he's now got new enemies on the station and in the Senate against Sinclair. So that's not looking good. It was also interesting that they said it would take about 12 hours for that negotiator to get there. Now, obviously, he might have left a bit earlier, but it implies that Earth and Babylon 5 are probably within a day travel. I thought it would be longer than that. So that was quite interesting to know as well. So yeah, it was a... Oh, and then obviously the whole plant situation. I understand why Londo did it. But then to give it up at the end. And then Sinclair's loophole. So basically he was saying, if I can get this right, so the light that shone on the plant obviously then carried on. So usually they would be there at that moment, but that light has carried on years into the future, because obviously speed of light years. Was it 10? He said it was 10 of their light years, 12 of ours, which implies light travels at different speeds. Let's skip that one for now. That's too much for me to think about. My head can't cope with that. So basically he was saying that the light's carried on, and it's the light on the station will be from 10 years in the past. So yeah, I mean, by that kind of logic, you could say the light travelled any time in the past. You could do the ceremony whenever you want. It seemed to work for G'Kar. He seemed happy. And I say we didn't see Londo unhappy, which I don't know if that would have been good or bad actually, because Londo did do it for revenge for what happened in which episode was it? I can't remember if it was The Gathering, the pilot movie, or the first episode. I think it was the movie where the Narns attacked that Centauri agricultural centre, and Londo's nephew was there. So it was kind of revenge for that. So I suppose if we'd seen Londo unhappy, it wouldn't have wrapped up that whole thing that Londo's now got his revenge. That's now kind of done, I suppose. So yeah, it was an alright episode. I haven't got amazing things to say about it in general, but it was okay. Not sure what else to say about it really. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. It wasn't one of the best we've seen so far, definitely, but wasn't the worst either. It was an alright one. So, see you for the next episode. Be seeing you.